New York City, and I was thinking I need to tell people that my show, Emil Amok, Lost NPR host, A Fool's Filipino American History, is having its last run or last program, last show live at under St. Mark's Theater at 94 St. Mark's Place in the East Village in New York City. And I wanted to make sure people knew that because I'm running out of these things, these cards that I've been passing out, walking around the East Village. And I also wanted just to make sure that people know that hey, we have more show. It's Thursday night, uh, the 14th at 9:30 p.m. And it should be a fun show. It's naturally an intimate program, an intimate show. It could be more intimate if like a handful of you show up. But if more than a handful, then it's a rousing good time. If we have, I think the theater only seats about, it's a small theater. I mean, I think a unisex bathroom at Giant Stadium in New Jersey has a greater capacity. So we don't have to fill that many people there. But it would be great if we had just a number of you, and it's easy to get tickets. Just go if you're looking on the screen now. Go to frigid.c frigid.nyc, and on frigid.nyc you can say, yeah, I'm going to be there live, and then you'll get a ticket. Tickets are reasonably priced. Here, I'm going to give a secret: the discount code. Use the discount code Emil, EMIL. Now, if you use a discount code, that means, oh, not only did you buy a ticket, but you listened to this spiel here for at least, what, 2 minutes. So use the code and you'll get some special pricing. That's if you're going to see it in person in New York City. Now, you're saying, Emil, Hawaii, how am I going to see your show? Or I'm in Zanzibar, or I always think when I say Zanzibar, I think of the Patty Duke show. Because from Zanzibar, she's at Berkeley Square. Because Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair, right? Uh, I guess that officially makes me a boomer, I guess, if I can recite that. But it also shows that, oh, my memory is intact, except for the stuff that I write for my show a day before I do it. Anyway, so if you go to that site at Frigid YC, you see my face, you see, my little, me in my plaid shirt and my gong, Emil Amok, Lost NPR host. Then you could buy the ticket in person, right? Or buy the ticket to see it in person. Put the code EMIL, and then say you're somewhere else. You can get a live stream ticket. Now I know some people say, "Oh, live stream, Emil, come on." That is like, is this like some kind of weird OnlyFans kind of thing? See, I don't know what OnlyFans is, but I can infer from the way people talk about it. I think I know what OnlyFans. I don't know what it is, but it sounds like people online doing something kind of naughty, a naughty thing online. Oh, my show is not that naughty. Now my show is fairly PG, but it's on at 9:30 Eastern, which means it's beyond a lot of my demographic, my AARP demographics bedtime. A lot of people say, "Well, it's 9:30. I'm usually in bed." Well, stream it online. Use your phone, stream it online, and say, "Well, Emil says stream this online. I'll get the Emil code, and it'll be like watching with an AARP discount, and I'll see what Emil has to say." It can't be any different than this kind of experience, right? Well, it is slightly because I'm in a theater as opposed to directly talking to you. And the theater experience is really intended to be a theater experience, or I can possibly come sit on your lap. If I mean, I do so with the gongs, so it's not that it sounds weirder than it is. I did that at the previous show. We did a show last Wednesday. I didn't sit on his lap, but I sat next to him and I asked him to touch the gong, and he touched it. It was a life changing experience. Actually, that guy is a fellow that I met 50 years ago in France. I mean, we're both from America, from the United States, and we went to France as high schoolers. And I met him. And tonight, tonight on Tuesday night, as I do this. Oh, by the way, just to finish up on the thing. So go to frigid.nyc. The tickets are reasonably priced. You will pay more for a hot dog in New York City than you will for an Emil Loss NPR host show. I almost guarantee a hot dog will cost. Well, if you get all the fixings and you buy you get along with the pizza, along with the hot dog, you get maybe a pretzel and a drink. You're going to spend more than you would at my show. My show reasonably priced. It's underground. You're gonna have an experience. You're gonna think you're going down to a speakeasy, and under St. Mark's, 94 St. Mark's. And then if you just say, Emil, I'd rather see you in bed on a live stream on your phone. You do that. Do that. When you go to the tickets at frigid.nyc, you can pick where you want to see it. I'll be there live. I'll see it on live screen, live stream. Very simple. All right. So getting back to this France thing. So I was part of this thing called the Experiment in International Living, which sounds kind of culty. I mean, it's not. I mean, they're out of Vermont. Oh, that could be culty, Vermont. But it's not. It's an educational thing. And it was this idea that, hey, if we all live together and, in foreign lands, that sounds even cultier, doesn't it? But no, it was a study abroad sort of thing, right? And I went with 12 people, including the leader. We had a leader who was just 5 years older than us. And we went all throughout France, and it was really a wonderful time. It was a great experience coming out of high school. I went to France, although now I think, as much as I loved France, I was a Francophile at the time. I really think or wish that I had picked a place that would be slightly more newsworthy, like Serbia or Croatia. Those were some options, but I didn't speak Serbian. I didn't speak Croat. But that would have been interesting, they had groups going there. I I I I think that would have been fun, especially to see. Well, just see what has transpired over the last 50 years in that area. So anyway, I went to France. I went with this guy who came to my show, and we're getting all together with the other folks who were part of the group because it was 50 years ago, 1973, that we went. And I guess this is part of the. I guess there's a kind of reunion theme to my uh, going and coming to New York and doing this show about essentially my life. Emil Loss NPR host of Fool's History, a Fool's Filipino American History, because I talk about NPR, I talk about growing, I talk about Filipino history, I talk about Harvard, I talk about everything you need to know about me. And in fact, my friends who see it say, "Gee, Emil, I didn't know that all this affected you all that much. I mean, how is that for? I guess just going through life stone faced or not expressing oneself, and until you get that Mount Pinatubo eruption of truth, and you go, look, of course, that's the show." So anyway, tonight I'm meeting with about 10 people who are part of this group, and we're going to meet partially online, at a restaurant, and of course we're meeting at a person's apartment up on Park Avenue, and then we're going to go to a French bistro. And to think, uh, in 73 I was not vegan, and in 2023 I'm vegan. I'm looking at the menu, and of course, there's nothing vegan. There's like, chicken this and beef bourguignon and all the. But look, I'm not taking part in the reunion to eat. I'm taking part in the reunion to share stories and camaraderie with the people that I knew 50 years ago. So that's going to be. I hope I'm not hyping it up, but I will talk about it and write about it certainly. Yesterday was 9/11. I was in New York, and if you go to my ALDEF blog, aaldef.org/blog, or see my column in the Inquirer.net, uh, had some reservations about how would I deal with being in New York City during 9/11, because I was touched by it by 9/11. I mean, even though I was in San Francisco, 3,000 miles away when it happened, you couldn't help be impacted by the images that you saw on TV, and the fact that this was happening not just in New York City, but in at the Pentagon, in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. I was so distraught I had to cancel soccer practice for my girls' team. Which sounds like a little thing, but it's not. I mean, like, what do you say? Look, we're going to practice as a team, to kick the ball around, but there are more important things like your family, like holding people tight. And this was a story that affected us all throughout the country. I mean, as I say in my column on the ALDEF blog, there was a kind of unity when the building shattered and everything came down. Something emerged. A united America emerged, and so I explored that somewhat. The 9/12 feeling. It's 9/12 now. It is a 9/12 feeling, and man, I tried to rekindle that last night, including going to dinner with a friend of mine who, once again, I have seen off and on over the last 50 years, but I knew him in high school. I've known him longer than 50 years because I knew him not just senior year, but sophomore, junior, and senior year. He's a big time lawyer now here, and we had a nice discussion because we realized that we're like America. We don't agree on anything, but together, I mean, we're friends. I mean, yeah. Um, and so check that out. It's on the ALDEF blog, aaldef.org/blog, also on Inquirer.net, where I actually found some names of Filipino Americans who were at the World Trade Center. One of whom was a woman. I just happened to catch her name as they were reading off the names. People tend to poo-poo or take for granted the name reading that they do every year. They've done it for the last 20 years. It's important. It's an important part of 9/11. And I used to think, seen it once. But every time you key in on a different name, you key in a different person. Like when I wrote columns over the last 22 years, I keyed in on this one woman who was Asian. Her name was Annie Wells. She worked at the Pentagon. So you go back through the archives on the ALDEF blog, and you'll see, my reaction to Sonny Liz's death. But this time around, I found some Filipinos. I'm just at random, there it was on the screen, and I knew that she was Filipino just by the sound of her name. Her name was Benilda Pascua. Benilda Pascua. Oh, what was her last name? But it was undeniably Ilocano. And I said to myself, oh my God. And I did a little more research. She's from the very town that my father's from, Log City, Ilocos Norte, Philippines. And her journey to America was similar to my father's, except my father came in 1928, and she comes as a 30-something-year-old person in 2001, coming to America, seeking her fortune, her opportunity. She's working maintenance at the restaurant Windows on the World, and it's all cut short by 9/11. So read my column. There's another Filipino American that I discovered. It's all about names. He has the most unusual Filipino name. Check it out on the Aldef blog or on Inquirer.net. All right, so we had 9/11. I had my dinner with my friend from high school that I've known a long time, and we're just testing that 9/12 unity that we think exists, that we know has to exist, that we both admit is in short supply, but we know that we need to rekindle that thing. That really is the legacy of 9/11, that we came together on 9/12. So, all right, so that's 9/11, that's 9/12 today. We talked about going to see the French people, or my French companions. Yeah, a lot of reunioning for some reason. I think it's just because when you're older and you think of the people you haven't seen in a long time, and you say, "Oh God, I haven't seen that for 20 years." Or since the last time I was in New York, and then before that it was 30 or 40 years. And so, but there's something nice about it. And here's the thing: when you have these little mini reunions, you realize the only reason that you are so eager to see people is because you don't see them very often, which is not necessarily purposeful, but it ends up being kind of purposeful, because if you saw each other all the time, you'd probably say, I've seen him. Thanks, Emil. Once every 10 years, that's good. That's good. I got it. I understand now. But but for genuine folks who you really want to connect with, you say, "Oh, I like these people," and it's too bad I can't see them once every 2 years or 2 months or 2 weeks, 2 hours or whatever. You got certain friends you put in slots, but when you see them, you say, yeah, because you've done something together, history. You have that common ground. All right, so I think that's it. I think I've talked enough today. We've been short, or not short. We've been irregular with coming on because of the travel schedule. But now the conductor is done. Ishmael reads the conductor. Have we seen the last of the conductor? I don't know. I think the last of the conductor. I think we might see it again, maybe in the Bay Area. I'm just saying. The conductor is the 11th play of Ishmael Reed, the American author of African American ancestry. He really is, in terms of his impact on generations of readers, 4 or 5 decades, and in all forms: the novel, short story, poetry, essays, and plays. And I was privileged to be part of the evolution of the conductor, from Zoom readings to live Zoom readings to live Zoom performances to actual live performances. This is over the course of a year and a half or so, right? And to 4 week sets of shows, about 24 shows in all, that were an experience for me. I'm not a full time actor, but boy, to be a part of that cast and a part of that show and production was a treat for me, and worth it. I mean, it was worth it to come here all the way to New York to do this from my base in California. So, and then also I do my other things, my one man show, and so I'm hoping that we can keep the conductor alive somehow. And I think there's a way, because Ishmael Reed has begun calling it a living newspaper, meaning that the play is a vehicle for talking about what's happened in society in terms of race, in terms of diversity, in terms of regular common folk who are marginalized people of color, and talking about their plight in real time. So as it happens, scripting and putting it on, I think he's really thinking of it, of how to develop this as paper, which would be great if, how would you do it? I mean, so the future is wide open, is the bottom line for the conductor. But Emil Amok's Takeout, refining, going through things. Last show is the conductor ended on Sunday. Emil Amok, Lost NPR host, will end here in New York Thursday night at 9:30 p.m. So once again, go to the screen. You see frigid.nyc. You see the link there. Go get your ticket. You can see it live if you're in New York. If you're not in New York, buy the live stream ticket and use the code Emil, EMIL. So, all right, that's it for this show today. Try to be on in a more regular basis, I think, although it's going to be tough the next couple days. But you'll see something. I'll put something up there. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening on whatever medium, wherever you are. Thank you for the time. Tell your friends. If you can't go tell your friends about the show. Oh, I'm going to see the Imelda show on Wednesday. That's one reason why I'm going to have difficulty with doing that. Now I know it's questioned whether I should, but I said I'm going to see the Imelda Marcos musical because if martial law was truly on, I wouldn't be able to see it. But I'm in America, so that would only be relevant if I'm Filipino. That hey, martial law. They'd make me see it in the Philippines. So I'm going to see what that's all about. The immersive experience. So I'm still meditating. Meditation has helped me throughout my time here in New York. Oh, I have a new. I don't know if I told this story yet. I'm gonna put it in my on the Thursday show. What happened when I rode a bus here in New York City, and what happened when I walked out of the bus, and what happened when I walked to the bus, and some guy on a bicycle went right by me, and what did he say to me? I'll talk about that later, but it's going to be in my show on Thursday. All right. Meditation. Meditation has saved me. Loving kindness. In the old days, I probably would have reacted with in a more amok fashion, I think. But I'm a lot more, not restrained. I would say the right word is controlled, I think. Anyway, and it's due to the loving kindness meditation. And so, as I wish for me, I wish for you. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. And may you live with ease. Emil Guillermo here. Till next time. I catch the show Thursday, 9:30 p.m. Emil Marks, 94 St. Mark's Place. Until next time. Maha Kita.